Global trade is in constant flux, and trade conflicts can shape entire economies in unpredictable ways. One of the most significant and ongoing disputes today is the economic standoff between the United States and Canada. What began as a tariff disagreement has evolved into a high-stakes battle that affects industries across borders, fundamentally altering global economic dynamics. A single tariff can set off a chain reaction, impacting industries, jobs, and consumer prices. Countermeasures force entire economies to reassess their strategies. Initially, the U.S. aimed to assert dominance in trade. However, as the conflict with Canada escalates, the economic consequences are being felt on a global scale. What began as a straightforward tariff dispute has now morphed into a full-blown economic standoff that threatens industries, jobs, and even the foundation of North American trade. With factories closing, jobs at risk, and prices rising for consumers, the situation has grown far more complex than simple trade rhetoric. So what triggered this escalation, and what can we expect as the standoff continues? Let's dive into the 7 most crucial developments in this ongoing and intensifying economic conflict. While trade disputes are nothing new, what sets this one apart is Canada's strategic response to U.S. tariffs. Instead of retaliating with broad measures, Canada took a calculated approach, targeting specific industries and products. The result? A shift in economic strategy, signaling that Canada is prepared to fight back without undermining its own economic stability. When the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian goods, Canada didn't retaliate indiscriminately. Instead, it targeted industries of deep political and economic importance. From Kentucky bourbon to Florida orange juice, these products hold significant symbolic weight in American politics. But it's not just about symbolism, it's about impacting U.S. industries at the consumer level. By hitting the electric vehicle, EV sector, Canada directly impacted U.S. manufacturers in a crucial market. This response is more than just a tit-for-tat. It's a strategic move that shows Canada can engage in this trade conflict without suffering significant collateral damage. This sets the stage for a prolonged standoff with far-reaching implications beyond North America. The EV market, one of the most forward-looking industries in North America, plays a central role in this conflict. Tesla, a major player in the EV sector, finds itself in a vulnerable position. While Tesla is renowned for its innovations in the automotive world, it relies heavily on Canadian resources like nickel, lithium, and aluminum, key materials required for battery and EV production. Canada, recognizing the importance of these materials to Tesla's supply chain, has the ability to impose tariffs on these crucial resources. This could severely disrupt Tesla's production capacity, leading to higher costs and delays. The ripple effects extend beyond Tesla. As the EV sector grows, other automakers also depend on these raw materials. Canada's potential to restrict the supply of these materials could cause significant delays in EV production across the board. Investors are already reacting, with stock prices fluctuating as the market adjusts to these trade tensions. The stakes for the EV industry are high, and Canada's moves could play a pivotal role in shaping its future. One of the most critical, but often overlooked consequences of this trade war is its impact on the North American automotive supply chain. Vehicle manufacturing is an intricately coordinated process that spans multiple borders before a car or auto part is assembled. The U.S., Canada, and Mexico are all integral parts of this supply chain, relying on smooth cross-border trade to maintain efficiency and reduce costs. The imposition of tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum has disrupted this delicate balance, leading to higher production costs, delays, and potential job losses. Factories in both the U.S. and Canada that depend on the constant flow of materials from one another are feeling the strain. These disruptions threaten not only large-scale manufacturers, but also smaller suppliers, who play a vital role in keeping costs low and production lines running smoothly. Ironically, the tariffs designed to protect U.S. manufacturing jobs could end up harming the very industries they were meant to support. The disruption caused by these tariffs is forcing layoffs and even factory closures. Canada, fully aware of how intertwined the supply chain is, has made the automotive sector a key battleground in this trade conflict. As tensions escalate, the pressure on the U.S. to rethink its policies grows as the economic damage risks becoming irreversible. Trade wars extend beyond economic consequences. They have significant political repercussions. As American consumers, factory workers, and farmers start feeling the strain of rising prices and job losses, the political landscape in the U.S. begins to shift. What was once considered a strategic move to protect American industries is now under scrutiny. Politicians are concerned about voter backlash, and many who once supported the tariffs are starting to reconsider their stance as their constituents bear the brunt of higher costs and layoffs. Meanwhile, in Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has taken a different route. Instead of merely reacting to U.S. tariffs, he's positioned himself as a defender of Canadian sovereignty. By framing retaliatory tariffs as a necessary measure to protect Canadian industries and workers, Trudeau has strengthened political support within Canada as the country braces for the long-term economic fallout from the dispute. In the U.S., however, trade policy is becoming an electoral issue. What was once a tool for economic strategy is now one of the most contentious subjects in American politics. While the U.S. fixates on tariffs, Canada holds another powerful bargaining chip: energy. The U.S. relies heavily on Canadian oil, natural gas, and electricity. And though Canada has yet to fully wield this leverage, the mere potential of limiting energy exports has rattled U.S. officials. Consider a scenario where Canada scales back oil shipments to the U.S. Gas prices could skyrocket, triggering widespread economic instability, particularly in northern U.S. states, which could face severe electricity shortages. These consequences would dwarf any tariff imposed by either country. By not yet using its energy resources as leverage, Canada seems to be holding this power in reserve for a worst-case scenario. If Canada decides to weaponize its energy exports, it could dramatically alter the balance of power in North American trade and reshape economic relations between the two nations. What started as a bilateral dispute has quickly expanded beyond North America, influencing global trade. European nations are adapting their trade policies, seeking alternative markets and forming new alliances as the U.S.-Canada trade conflict intensifies. Meanwhile, China is strengthening its trade ties with Canada, positioning itself to fill the gap left by the U.S. Developing countries are also capitalizing on the opportunity as U.S. businesses struggle to remain competitive. The longer the conflict drags on, the clearer the risk for the U.S. It could lose its position as a global economic powerhouse. This trade war is about far more than just tariffs. It's about relationships, trust, and the shifting dynamics of global power. While the high-level strategies and political maneuvers dominate the headlines, the true cost is being felt by everyday people. Higher grocery bills, unpredictable gas prices, and small businesses grappling with the costs of imported goods are just the beginning. The ripple effects of this conflict are touching every corner of daily life in both the U.S. and Canada. Job losses in manufacturing, rising costs for essential goods, and uncertainty about the future have become commonplace for many families. The reality is that even if a resolution is reached tomorrow, it will take years for businesses and supply chains to recover. Consumers will continue to feel the impact long after politicians sign a peace agreement. The key question is, how long will the American public tolerate these hardships before demanding change? What started as a strategic move has evolved into one of the most impactful trade conflicts in modern history. The battle between the U.S. and Canada is no longer just about tariffs. It's about global influence, economic power, and the future of North American trade. Will the U.S. continue to escalate the conflict, or will mounting economic pressures force a resolution before the damage becomes irreparable? The stakes have never been higher, and the consequences will be felt for years to come. What do you think? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new economic order, or will cooler heads prevail? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Share them in the comments below. For the latest insights into the automotive world and more in-depth analysis, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.